Hello, hello. Welcome to Saucer Rock, episode 4 with Rand Kelly and my guest Ryan Gavalier. How's everybody doing today? How are you today, Ryan?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Ren?
I'm good. I like your backdrop better than mine. My lame-o wallpaper from 1985. And my pillow sticking up like that one in Peter Gabriel's big time video. But anyways, I'm comfortable and I feel good. And we're going to go into 3 songs today that we didn't announce. And the first song is by a band that I like a lot, but I'm not a huge fan of, but I do like this song very much. And it's Here They Come by 10 Years After. And here's the album 1971. I think it's my favorite 10 Years After album. I've heard a few of them. They can get pretty bluesy. This is a great album. This has, eclectic all over it. Every style you could imagine is on here. But the rock songs are absolutely top notch. And Here They Come. It's not really a rock song. It's kind of like a spacey folk song.
Yeah,
And Ryan's going to read you the lyrics.
for sure. Yeah, so they go, here they come, and they fly with the power of the sun. Here they come, and they're going to touch everyone. Far, far have they come. Here they come, and the fire on their wings doesn't burn. Here they come, and they know everything we must learn. Round, round we must turn. Watch out, you sinners. Don't you know that your time has come? Watch out, you winners. Now it's the same for everyone. Here they come, and the stars in their eyes seem to glow. Here they come, and the fear in our hearts starts to go. Now we all know.
So that's not very many lyrics, is it? But
No.
anyways, obviously this is about saucers. And I had no idea Alvin Lee was into this stuff. I mean, I saw him at Woodstock on the movie and listened to him on the album, and like I just thought he was a freaking amazing fast guitar player, and he had like no reason to be into what he's into. But when this album came out, all of a sudden the subject came up, and this is 1971. This is pretty early on. And the saucer rock thing that we're doing seems to span 1970 to 1980. I don't see a whole lot going on in the 60s. A little bit from Jimi Hendrix, but he was pretty spacey anyway. I mean,
Mhm.
he told his teacher he was from Mars and probably got his knuckles wrapped with a ruler. But I don't know. I want you to talk about the song first. So I just thought I'd preface it.
Yeah. Um, so I do think it could be about saucers and stuff. I also had another theory of what it could be about as well. So it could, like I said, it probably is about saucers, but I also wonder if it's about like nukes and stuff. To an extent, it kind of sounds like it'd be that like planes dropping nukes and stuff, destroying like a whole city or a whole town, just like or like an apocalypse in general. Like, watch out, you sinners! Don't you know that your time has come? That's like Judgment Day, basically. Um, Here they come, they fly with the power of the sun. Here they come, and they're going to touch everyone. Like, they'll touch everyone and surrounding, basically. So I wonder if that's part of it. But it also, I mean, the lyrics definitely could be talking about UFOs and aliens as well. Like, especially here they come and they know everything we must learn. That definitely sounds like some saucery kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, or uh, here they come, and the fear in our hearts starts to go. Now we all know. That could
Yeah.
be about either one of my theories. I mean, the fear in our hearts starts to go. I mean, if a nuke gets dropped, it is what it is at that point. There's nothing to worry about anymore. Like, it's just over at that point.
Yeah.
So I think that now we all know. Now we all know basically like what the afterlife is, or if there is, or whatever you want to go with that. But it also could just be like now we all know about aliens or UFOs. Now we know they're real. You know, they come. We don't have to fear it anymore because we see how it is. So I think it could be about either of those. I mean, in the time that this album came out, what was it, 71 or something like
Mhm.
that?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Vietnam was still going on at that point. So I mean, there was a lot of thoughts about war and the tensions of it. And I mean, like 20 or like less than a little over 20 years at that point have been like Hiroshima and stuff. So it could be like the tensions of war at the time, bringing up the memories of knowing what happened with that or something. So I don't know. It could be about multiple different things, but I definitely think there's a little bit of ambiguity for me with the lyrics of what specifically they're talking about.
Okay. I think that Steve Hillage hit the nail on the head when he said in 1977 the saucers were teasing us to find a higher energy, and in 1971 people, especially a British rock musician, had to be a little bit vague. But this is pretty, for me, this is pretty uh, glaringly about what I think it's about, and that is UFOs and flying saucers. And I was in the United States Air Force at 19 years old when I heard this album for the first time. I bought it because there was a hit on the radio called I'd Love to Change the World.
Hmm.
Huge and beautiful song.
Yeah.
And I bought the album to get that song. And I had no idea, because that was the way it was in 1971. You had no idea what else you were going to get because you had no way to check. So it was just like, well, I want that tune. So, I'll just take whatever else they're doing and learn to like it, I guess. And I heard Here They Come, which was the second song after on the album. And after I Would Love to Change the World. And it just really moved me. I love it. And it's funny that lyric you read about the sinners. I always thought he was singing What's That You Say Now. So you hear things different. And for 51 years, I didn't know what that lyric was. I never bothered to look it up. And
Hmm.
my copy doesn't have the words. I just, when you pull out my little booklet, it just does this. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
song titles and credits. So I had no idea what that lyric was until you read it. And I was like, oh, is that what he's singing? I had no clue. I always thought he was singing "What's That You Say Now." So, "What's That You Say Now" sounds like "Watch Out, You Sinners." It's just the way he sang it. I just heard it wrong, and so I always had this mental block about how come I couldn't figure out what the next line was. Why didn't it relate to "What's That You Say Now," which is a question, and he's singing a statement. So,
Yeah.
anyways, here they come. And they also says, far, far have they come. And there was a lot of that, talk about UFOs and stuff like that. And, here it is, like you said, it's in the Vietnam War, and I'm stationed at Nellis Air Force Base in Las Vegas, Nevada, away from the war. But we talked to all the people, like the pilots and stuff that were over there fighting it. And they would come over and we'd talk to them when we were working on the Officers Club or whatever. Learned a lot, which I won't go into right now. But anyways, yeah, I just think it's a super cool song. It has to be heard to be enjoyed because just to I mean, we're doing as best as we can with reading the lyrics, folks. But there's really no way that I can run these tunes in the background while we talk because it'd be distracting, and I'd probably get a copyright infringement. I mean, I see people doing it on YouTube all the time, but just to be safe, we're just going to discuss the stuff and show the covers. But I
Yeah.
think if you like good classic rock, you ought to go check out "Here They Come" by 10 Years After on Spotify or
Yeah,
whoever
I
you get your
agree.
music from. It's a cool
I'm
tune.
not a very I'm not a real big fan of this band. I think that a lot of the stuff that I've heard, other than this album, because I do really like this album, kind of sounds like second rate blues rock, like not even particularly good blues rock. But this album and then their Woodstock performance are both very impressive to me. I think they did a
Yeah.
great job on both of those.
Well, I
And there
remember
might
a
be
lot.
some other really good stuff out there too. I just, after a few of the albums I've heard, I never really dug in too deep other than this album, just because I wasn't really impressed. But
I had this in Cricklewood Green. 50,000 Miles Beneath My Brain is a really cool tune.
nice.
And Here They Come is all acoustic anyway. There's like
Hmm.
no electric guitar solo on it. It's all way different, you know. It's
I
more
like
like it sounds more like a Neil Young song. If you just listen to the actual backing tracks without the voice, you might
that.
think it's Neil Young.
Yeah, I like that part at the end where it kind of switches up a little bit.
Yeah, he does a Pete Townshend kind of thing, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's just a
Diddle, diddle,
beautiful
diddle, diddle,
song.
yeah, I know. I was really checking that. He's detuned down to D, is what it is.
Mm,
Got the drop D on the acoustic.
yeah,
Probably a Martin. I don't know, but anyways, so that's good. We pretty much did all we could do about that. Now the next song is a crazy tune on Nick Mason's Fictitious Sports, which came out in 1981, and this is his first solo album, and it's just insane. The tune is called "I Was Wrong," which is sung by Robert Wyatt from Soft Machine and his solo career and guesting on albums like Hatfield in the North, and he's real good friends with the Sinclair cousins and stuff like
yeah,
that. So it's like one big Canterbury family over there. So somehow Nick Mason roped in Robert Wyatt to sing this song "I Was Wrong." I have the lyrics, but they're written in italics, and I can't read them because I can't see them. Tell them about "I Was Wrong," please.
for sure. Well, I used to think this talk of spaceships was just so much hype. I really believed that there was nothing out there except the stars and the stripes. I mean, the scientists said they found out that there was nothing there on Mars. So, as far as I was concerned, it was just the name of a candy bar. I'm one of those kind of people who need proof before they believe. Close Encounters left me cold, and Star Trek seemed naive. When it came to UFOs, I was of the scientific school. Little green men with pointed heads were for little kids and fools. But I was wrong, I was wrong, I was real wrong, I was wrong all along, I was so wrong. The people who believed that stuff were always kind of odd. I mean, you might as well go all the way and believe in Jesus and God. I knew I had the kind of mind that wasn't easily satisfied. Besides, I had enough problems on earth to keep me occupied. And then one night I was standing, looking at the stars, and I heard something that sounded like 100 space guitars. The music was so weird it could have been the theme from Jaws. And I saw something flying over my head. I thought it was Santa Claus. But I was wrong. I was wrong. I was real wrong. I was wrong all along. I was so wrong.
But I was wrong. Yes, I was wrong. I was real wrong.
Yeah, it's a
I
funny
love that
song.
drum that Nick Mason does on that before he sings that. He goes, he builds it up so good.
Yeah.
It's like, it's got to do something.
I
Go
love
ahead.
all the weird saxophones in
Oh,
this.
and the chord progressions it's so weird. I was analyzing this song today. I have a mini moog synthesizer on my phone, and I was doing chords with my fingers. I was trying to do these notes. And this song is so weird because the bass player, Steve Swallow, is playing in B, right? And and Robert Wyatt is singing D C D C D C D C D C D C D like that. It's called what they call Phrygian mode, and it sounds like this would I mean Robert Fripp of King Crimson must have loved this record because this
Yeah.
is right up his alley. This is what he specializes in dissonance. Okay, go ahead. I was just doing the music thing.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this one's very straightforward in what it's talking about. Kind of reminds me of lyrically, kind of like that Inca Road song that we were talking about by Zappa. Like, I can't tell if it's a joke or if it's serious. I mean, it's definitely a really funny song lyrically. All the pop culture references, all the goofy stuff they talk about in it. Um, what an awesome song, though. I mean, I love Robert Wyatt's vocals on it. He's such a great drummer and performer as a whole. I mean, obviously a drummer before he became paralyzed. Like, I'm a huge fan of Matching Mole and
Oh,
Soft
right. Yeah, I
Machine
forgot about them. Yeah, me too.
and all the stuff he did with Eno, like Rock Bottom that he did solo, a ton of that stuff. He's just an absolute legend. He actually was what influenced me to listen to this record even more than Nick Mason. I mean, I was like, oh, cool, Nick Mason. But the reason I ended up picking it up is because I saw Robert Wyatt was featured on it and giving it a listen. And it's a really cool album. It's super out there. And this song is as well. I mean, I think the lyrics are just really clever and well written. And they tell a story. They're funny. They're
Right.
accessible. I mean, they talk about Star Wars, Star Trek, Jaws, all kinds of huge blockbuster type entertainment from the time. So
And Santa Claus.
yeah, and Santa Claus. I mean, everybody loves Santa. So
Who
like this
doesn't?
song's just it's just kind of like oh, and Close Encounters, another big one
Right,
too.
right, right.
So I mean, it was just trying to really appeal to people. I feel like while being super out there and weird and talking about UFOs. I mean, like I said, I don't know if he's like actually super serious about them in his own life. It kind of sounds like a joke song to me, but who knows? Like I don't know Nick Mason, so there's no way of me knowing.
Well, he plays drums on a saucer full of secrets, and his band is called a saucer full of secrets.
True.
Might be something there.
Yeah.
What's funny? I'm gonna do this. Check this out. 10 years after, 10 years later. uh, this first of all, that album has to be listened to be believed. It's absolutely insane. Excuse me, Nick Mason's fictitious sports, and most of the proggers and Floyd fans will say immediately as soon as you bring this record up, "Oh, that's a Carla Bley album. Nick Mason just plays drums on it, put his name on it," because she couldn't get arrested. You know, nobody knew who Carla Bley was, but apparently she did all the work on this album, wrote all the songs, played all the keyboards, you know, the piano or whatever. And I don't know, I don't know because Nick Mason's a great drummer, and he's playing great drums. So you know, and it is a solo album. He gets the royalties or whatever. But yeah, I love this tune. I mean, when I first heard it, I was living at my grandma's house in Eureka, California at the time. Had my own bedroom, and I'm listening to this and stuff. And I used to think, what does she think of me when I'm doing this? It's just insane, you know. But you know, I'm hearing this. I was wrong, really loud and everything, and she's probably thinking, and I'm thinking, yeah, this is great. He's admitting that totally into flying saucers and they're real. And this is 1981. But when you really, like you just did, you read the lyrics and we think about them, it's vague. He's not saying why he was wrong. He's just saying I was wrong. He's not giving the evidence of what made him change his mind, which
Hmm.
really leaves it, you could teeter any way you want with this song because there's no definition to what I was wrong means.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the way the lyrics sound, it kind of sounds like the character in his story probably got abducted or something. That's what it sounds like to me. I was
And it's the
really
same
little.
year as Keep It Dark, so think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I don't know. I just I just love the song. I don't really know the album as well as the song because I've heard the song more, especially recently when we were preparing for this show. But
Mhm.
I can't say much more about it. It's like I said, it's musically off off the chart. It's just so weird, this tune.
Definitely.
It's like guaranteed to annoy someone who's easily annoyed.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if you got a friend who loves Travis Tritt and you put this on, they're gonna think you went nuts.
See,
I
and
don't
I
know.
think
I don't know
people,
why I chose Travis Tritt. I used to play country music for a living, so and I know a lot about that stuff. But
yeah.
that's the first guy that ever came to mind. We were doing a gig out in the woods somewhere in California, Northern California, out in the weed territory, and
Hmm.
I think it was Alder Point or someplace like that, middle of nowhere. And this guy goes, "How about some Travis Tritt?" And I looked down at him. I said, "Who's that?" He
Huh.
looked at me like I lost my mind. I never heard of the guy. And here we were doing country music.
Yeah. I can't say I've ever listened to a Travis Tritt song.
It just came to mind. I could have picked anybody. Willie Nelson. I like Willie Nelson actually. So,
He's good.
anyways, we'll move out of Nick Mason's fictitious sports and jump into our time machine and go back to 1977 for Welcome to the Grand Illusion. Come on in and see what's happening. Pay the price, get your ticket for the show. Anyway, the singing is free, folks. I don't charge for that.
Huh?
Song is obviously going to be Come Sail Away. And Ryan's going
Um,
to tell you all about it.
so lyrics this one go, I'm sailing away, set an open course for the virgin sea. For I've got to be free, free to face the life that's ahead of me. On board I'm the captain, so climb aboard. We'll search for tomorrow on every shore. And I'll try, oh Lord, I'll try to carry on. I look to the sea. Reflections in the waves spark my memory. Some happy, some sad. I think of childhood friends and the dreams we've had. We lived happily forever, so the story goes, but somehow we missed out on the pot of gold. But we'll try best that we can to carry on. A gathering of angels appeared above
In
my
my
head.
head,
They sang to us
be
this
a
song of
song
hope,
about
and this is
this
what
what
they
they
said.
said.
Come sail away, come sail away, come sail away with me. I thought that they were angels, but to my surprise, we climbed aboard their starship and headed for the skies.
Absolutely. Dun, 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 dun. The best three-chord run ever. C, F, G, and back to F, and then down to C. It's for all you musicians. Super fun song to play. And the bridge with the synthesizer solo is in A flat, which really, really sounds cool.
Yeah, such
It's
an
all.
awesome song.
Tell them what you think, Ryan.
um, I mean, I think this one kind of throws you for a loop actually. I mean, the whole song it really just sounds like they're talking about boating, and that's kind of reading it again today until the last verse, you're just like that's what it's about. It's about boating. Um Probably. And then it goes, I thought that they were angels, but to my surprise, we climbed aboard their starship and headed for the skies, and then goes back to the chorus. So obviously they get on to like a UFO or something. They thought they were angels, but they're really aliens. They go up to space with them. Um, I think that's about all I have of this one. I mean, like, I guess it will search for tomorrow on every shore. I mean, that's going through like the universe and stuff. Or universes. I don't know. Um, let's see. I mean, reflections in the waves spark my memory. I mean, kind of looking back at the world that they lived in before, I guess. Um, I don't know. It's an interesting one. I mean, I love this song. This whole album's excellent. It's probably Styx's best record. I don't know. There's a lot of really good ones out there though. So that's kind of hard to say, but I think this one's probably the most iconic. I mean, you've got Castle Walls on here, which might be my favorite Styx track. You know, Fooling Yourself, The Grand Illusion, a lot of classics on here. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's definitely an album to go check out, especially this song too. It's a classic for a reason. There's a reason it gets played on the radio all the time. And yeah, it happens to be a little saucery
It's kind of like a stairway to heaven for them.
in a very Styx way.
Very sticky. Yeah. So, so I'm going to show a picture.
Yep.
That tells the story right there. You start on that ship in the beginning of the song, and at the end of the song, you're in that saucer. You know, they can beam you right off the ship, and you're in the ship. So that's why I said I thought they were angels, but to my surprise, you climbed aboard their starship and headed for the skies. It could be that, or it could be like time traveling memory, like a long time ago, the guy was on the ship and he was just talking about all the different things like you said in the song, and then the last verse is in the future. Or it could be the guy was on the ship and then all of a sudden he thought they were angels, and then this came down like in 1885 or something, because let's face it, there's no limitations.
Yeah. I think the way I kind of see it is that I think that they could be I think that they could be I think the ship could be on the album cover just because, sail, kind of a play on words and stuff. The way I kind of take the lyrics is that like they're talking about being on this ship right now, but they
Yeah.
kind of leave it a bit ambiguous to you. Like it
Well,
could be a ship. I kind of feel like maybe they were on the ship the whole time.
here's the deal. You don't get that picture by buying the album. This is what you get
Yeah.
with the album. That picture came from the 45 single that I bought when it
Yeah.
was on sale, which you can't get anymore. So that picture's only available online as an archive. But that
Yeah.
nobody ever saw that picture unless they bought the 45 like I did. And I liked it. I immediately I saw that and I went, "Oh my God, I got to get that." I was like immediately on that. But I kept it. I still got it.
Yeah.
It's great. But yeah, the cover of the album is pretty ambiguous. I mean, not a whole lot of UFO stuff going on in that cover.
It's not a very good album cover either.
It's
It's
kind
kind
of
of
it's kind of psychedelic. It looks like a woman's face, but also looks like a guy sitting on a really weird horse that looks like a giraffe. I mean, there's so many things going on in that cover.
yeah.
An acid tripper's nightmare.
Yeah.
So, anyways, any final thoughts on these three songs, Ryan?
Just check them out. They're all really good.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna do. I haven't thought of the next three, but I've thought of one, and I'm gonna go ahead and reveal that just to get you to come back. We're gonna definitely do "Starman" by David Bowie.
That will get me to come back, Ron.
Okay, well that's good. As long as you're coming back, that's all that matters. Now, see, when he sings that, he reminds me of Katharine Hepburn. There's a starman waiting in the sky.
That's funny.
Have you ever seen On Golden Pond?
Not that one, no.
Katharine Hepburn and Henry Fonda.
I've seen her in a
And he
few
goes,
other
Henry Fonda goes, "Strawberries, strawberries. I don't know how to pick strawberries." And Hepburn goes, It's very simple, Norman. You just reach over and pick the strawberries. I mean, they're like 85 when they did this movie. It's a great film. It really is. But,
Right.
anyways, I digress as usual. So that kind of puts the nail on the coffin for the saucer door is shutting
Yep.
for episode 4 of Saucer Rock. Is it 4 or 5? I'm confused.
4. It's a
Okay, I
4.
did right. I did it right. Okay, good. Anyways, anybody that's watching this, you're braver than I was. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Yep. Definitely.
Ciao.
Bye.